She walked into that hospital carrying twins, and only one came out alive. But what if I told you this isn't just fiction? It was a mirror. And if you've ever loved a Black woman, you need to hear what happened next.
0, 1. Let's get started.
Welcome back to CTube, your go-to spot for all things TV, drama, and entertainment. Today, all you Sisters fans, we are showing up for a sister. You may not be a big Karen fan, but today we are putting all of our petty past grievances to the side for something far more important. Episode 3 of season 9 was emotional, tense, and deeply personal. Titled unofficially by fans as Forever Taylor, this episode brought heartbreak, sisterhood, and survival to the forefront and reminded us why we watch this show week after week. Let's break it all down. We open right where we left off. Karen is unconscious. Her body has shut down in the middle of a crisis pregnancy. Dr. Vaughn wastes no time. He calls for an emergency C-section and tells the girls to clear the room. Andy, Danny, and Sabrina are panicking. They're yelling, crying, refusing to leave Karen's side. But the doctor insists. If they don't move, Karen and the babies could die. It's chaos, and there's nothing they can do but step back and hope the doctors can save her. Outside in the hallway, Karen's mother, Miss Lisa, arrives. Andy breaks the news. Karen passed out, her heart rate dropped, and now they're performing emergency surgery. That's when things get serious. The nurse asks a terrifying question. Does Karen have a medical will? Is there a DNR on file? Miss Lisa is stunned. A DNR? A do not resuscitate order? Her daughter is fighting for her life. And now she's being asked to make end-of-life decisions. But Miss Lisa doesn't flinch. She says clearly, at all costs, save her life. The girls retreat to the waiting room, and what follows is a raw, unfiltered conversation between sisters dealing with the unimaginable. Sabrina says what everyone's thinking. She's sick of this. Sick of waiting, sick of wondering what's happening behind those closed doors. Sabrina is spiraling. She's playing out worst case scenarios in her mind. And Danny, ever the comic relief that tries to lighten the mood, but her own anxiety is showing. Danny jokes that she needs a little pick-me-up. She opens up to Sabrina about the drama in her life, a great little distraction to try to escape the worry for Karen. To cope, Sabrina tries to distract Danny with gossip, specifically about her own messy situation with Rich. We find out that she caught him cheating with Penelope, but even the tea doesn't make the pain go away. They're talking, but underneath it all is fear. Their sister is on an operating table and they don't know if she's going to make it out. That's when Rich calls. He wants to talk to Sabrina. But Danny intercepts the call and completely shuts him down. And honestly, she wasn't wrong for it. This was not the moment for Rich's mess. Fatima and Zach share a quiet moment. They reflect on how far they've come, especially Zach, who admits he's barely had a chance to process anything. He says the one thing he's doing now is showing up. Outside the OR, Aaron and Zach arrive. They're visibly shaken, but trying to stay composed. Aaron leads a moment of prayer, asking God to protect Karen and the babies. He breaks down mid-prayer. Zach takes over and finishes it. It's the most emotionally raw we've seen Zach all season. We went from Andy asking Zach if he prays in episode 1 to Zach leading prayer in episode 3. Miss Lisa arrives, sees them both struggling, and steps in with her usual strength and clarity. At this point, everyone is exhausted. No one has answers. But they all know one thing. They love Karen, and they can't lose her. They go in to be with Karen and ready to meet the babies. But then Miss Lisa leaves Karen's room and meet the sisters in the waiting room. She delivers some news. Next, we have Danny stating the obvious and how Karen and other women, Black women, are dying at a disproportionate rate due to negligence in hospitals. In fact, Karen's story may be fictional, but what happened to her mirrors a devastating truth for too many Black women in real life. According to CDC data, Black women in the US are nearly 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy related causes than white women, even when they have the same education, income, or insurance. In 2021, the maternal mortality rate for Black women was almost 70 deaths per 100,000 births, compared to just 26 for white women. And here's what makes that even more painful: over 80% of these deaths are considered preventable. Why is this happening? Because Black women's pain is often dismissed, their symptoms are downplayed, their advocacy is met with resistance, even during high risk situations like childbirth. Studies also show that hospitals serving Black communities have fewer resources, less oversight, and worse outcomes, even for white patients. One of the most heartbreaking cases was Shaw Asia Washington, a 26-year-old Black woman who died during childbirth in 2020 due to anesthesia complications that could have been avoided. Her story sparked outrage because it wasn't just a medical mistake, it was medical neglect. Karen's scene in this episode isn't just emotional, it's a reflection of how racism and bias still shape health outcomes, even in the delivery room. Then we have Dr. Vaughn delivering the update. Karen made it through surgery. She gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby girl. But the other twin was stillborn. There's silence. The girls don't scream, they don't cry. I'm not yet. Because the weight of that loss is too heavy to lift all at once. Karen has survived, but she's waking up to a reality where one of her babies didn't make it. We enter Karen's hospital room for the first time since the surgery. She's weak, disoriented, in pain. Her question is, the baby's okay? So heartbreaking. It's Dr. Vaughn who tells her gently, yes, one of the babies made it. Karen begins to cry. Karen is dealing with the realization that one of her daughters didn't make it. Meanwhile, Zach is dealing with finding out that it was his daughter. He says it felt like everyone in the room looked at him with pity, like they didn't believe he could handle the truth. Zach was dealing with this sudden loss of his perfect baby girl in a real way. Fatima is there to console him. I could see and feel the hurt and pain. I think this was some of Zach's best work here in this scene. But did you know it would be Zach's baby? I honestly didn't see it coming. I knew that one of the babies wasn't going to make it, but I really didn't think it would be Zach's baby. Either way, it would be devastating. Andy lets Karen know that Dr. Vaughn has offered them a chance, a moment to hold the baby. Not everyone takes that moment, but it can bring closure. Karen, still crying, agrees to do it with the support of her sisters. Together in one of the most emotional scenes of the series, Karen holds her daughter. She names her Forever Taylor. I know this is a show, but I couldn't help but get emotional. The last couple of episodes of Sisters have been triggering and really heavy for me. Woo! This isn't just about loss, it's about presence. The sisters don't offer cliches. They don't rush Karen to move on. They just sit with her, hold her hand, and cry with her. That's what Sisters is about. Not just romantic drama or shady exes or funny one liners, though we love all that. This show, at its core, is about women showing up for each other when the world falls apart. Karen has lost a child, but she's also brought new life into the world. She has a daughter to raise and sisters to help her do it. She is bruised, grieving, exhausted, but she is still here. And now she has to find a way forward. Look, when are y'all going to forgive Karen? If Fatima can do it, I know y'all can too. And let's talk about Aaron. He's supposed to be an accountant and a pastor, but I ain't seen him count a thing or preach a word. Meanwhile, Zach is doing the most. Father, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, now preacher. Give that man a raise. Because Aaron, he's tapped out, emotionally unavailable. Zach's carrying the weight, and so am I. honestly, this whole episode, actually the last few episodes have been heavy. That week in between episodes. Yeah, we need it because this too much. And before I forget, can somebody cut that nurse a check? I mean, she helped deliver a baby, saved Karen's life in a blackout while the Dr. Cruz was out here acting like a whole villain. So when they fired Dr. Jekyll, aka Dr. Cruz, take that check and pay that nurse and resident who actually did their job because they earned every dollar. As for him, Dr. Jekyll, the man with 20 years of experience harming women, he's gotta go. Redistribute that salary to people who actually care, no matter your skin color or your story. Listen, this review was hard to do. It was triggering. I'm honestly just glad this episode is done. I saw the preview for next week, and it looks like we're finally leaving the hospital. Thank God. Because if I had to hear one more beep or flatline, but don't get too excited. It's still a dark road ahead. And tell me something. Who forgot to tell Pam? Because in the preview, Sis is still talking about babies, plural. And I was like, oh my God, Pam. It looks like we are going to see Karen and Zach struggle to move on. And Dr. Cruz, well, the sisters, specifically Andy, is starting to suspect this may not have been his first case of medical neglect. Let me ask you, was Karen's tragedy avoidable? We'll find out. Because you know one thing about sisters. When one sister falls, the rest rise up. Thanks for watching our full recap of Sisters Season 9, Episode 3. If this episode hit you in the heart, let us know in the comments below. And if you want more weekly breakdowns, theories, and emotional unpacking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time. Until then, hug your sisters tight. And remember, forever Taylor.
Zero.